Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for spending a little time this morning to come over and be part of the State of the University address. I'm really delighted to welcome you in a face-to-face environment this fall. I think many of you recall that last year we opted to move this into a Zoom environment and go online with it. So I'm delighted to be back face-to-face as well, and I hope you feel the same. I hope you've had a good summer. I know you've been busy doing a lot of different things, and I'm just really happy to welcome you back to campus in many cases and to the start of the 2021-22 academic year. And if you're here for the first time with us, as in you're brand new to Black Hills State University, welcome. We're delighted to have you join us and become part of the BH family. So we begin today actually with introductions of our new faculty and staff, and we're going to do that by division. And so I'm going to ask each vice president or director to come up to the podium and make their respective introductions. I'll kick off the introductions, and following me in this order will be the Division of Enrollment Management, Finance and Administration, Athletics, Marketing and Communications, and then finally academic affairs. So we'll see how well this crew down here listened and if they can follow that order that I just gave them. So let me begin by introducing four individuals to you. And I would ask if they would stand if they're in attendance, and would you hold your applause until I'm done introducing the four that I have to introduce to you. Patrick McMill is our new Director of Athletics. Patrick joined us in June. He's been busy all summer long. He really did hit the ground running. And in fact, he is not with us today because he's at Sutton Bay in a very large fundraiser for our athletic program. Julie Olson is our interim director. Julie, please stand, for the Director of University Marketing and Communications. Julie is a graduate of Black Hills State, and she owns her own business, Turner Lee Consulting and Design. Most of you know Pam Caravu, who stepped in as acting provost in July. I was most appreciative of Pam taking on this responsibility, and I thank her profusely for both her loyalty and her flexibility. And then Lindsay Jacobson has joined my office half-time as my administrative assistant, and she works in my office from 8 till noon each day. Dr. Allred is up next.
It's my pleasure to welcome new members of the Enrollment Management Division, and we'd invite them to stand as their names are read also. Liz Kinsella, the CRN coordinator in the admissions office. Erin Oglesby, visit and event coordinator, also in the admissions office. Heather Meyer, professional advisor and testing, in our Student Success Center and office down in Rapid City. Vernon Ward is our East Complex Director in Residence Life. Nathan Felt didn't make it onto our slide because he's a new addition to our Student Support Services as a professional advisor. And Lindsay Jacobson, whom you just met briefly, I share time with the president, half-time, and she's in my office in the afternoons. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kathy Johnson, Vice President for Finance and Administration. Welcome back, everyone. I'd like you to join me in welcoming the new members of our Finance and Administration team. We have Gary Callies. Gary, if you're here, please stand. Thank you. Gary is a custodial services supervisor. He worked for us in Woodburn for 2 years and recently was promoted to supervisor, and you'll see him roaming around Jonas Science, Life Science, and Woodburn, now supervising the staff there. Terry Miller. Terry is our new controller. He stepped in at a really rough time of the year and navigated us through year end, so really grateful for that. Christina Nada, senior accountant, also new in the business office and jumping right in to help us. Katie Tavette, she's our senior secretary at Black Hills State University, Rapid City. Tim Tyler. Tim is our accounting assistant. He's our new cashier representative on the first floor of Woodburn. And Zachary Warner is a facility worker in Heidi Hall.
I am not Colleen Mischke, but I'll give the brief update on athletics. My name is Riley Baker. I'm the sports information director. We have 7 new full-time additions. We've got Craig Marsh, our new head women's golf coach. We have Kyle Lawson, assistant men's basketball coach. Andrew Conniff, head women's soccer coach. Bree Davis, assistant volleyball coach. Brian Medigovich, head men's and women's cross-country coach. Aubrey Voberil, head softball coach. And Patrick McNeil, director of athletics.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We appreciate you all being here today. I am Julie Olson, the interim marketing director for Black Hills State University. Happy to do it. As the president mentioned, I am an alum, and so it's very near and dear to my heart. We've done a lot of fun things over the last month in our marketing department, and we encourage you to come and visit us anytime. We're over at Woodburn, 101 through 106? 102 through 106, yes. So please come visit us. I'd like to introduce part 2 of our new additions to our marketing department, and that's Julie Stewart and Bailey Sadowski. Yeah, they are both alums of BH as well. Short story, Julie and I were college roommates, so we had some fun back in the day, and now we're here helping out our great university. So Julie is helping us with our social media and marketing communications, and Bailey is one of our lead graphic designers that's been helping us out. So I'd also like to introduce a couple of more people on our team. Laurel Simpson. She's been with us for many years, and she's largely responsible for a lot of the materials that we do put together, and she has an excellent graphics design eye as well. Regina Geyer, and Regina is our student graphic designer. She works on the web, and she's also interning for us in our department as well. We also have Gus. Many of you may know Gus. He is running the website. I don't know if he's here with us today. And Kristen Kilmer. Kristen has been with the marketing department for 18 years and is not with us this week, but she will be back in the office next week. Let's see. Did I get everybody? I did. Well, welcome everyone, and we look forward to working with you and seeing you in the next several months. Thanks.
That's sad when I have to lower the microphone so far, isn't it? All right. Well, welcome everyone. We spent a really great day yesterday working with new faculty, but we have quite a list in academic affairs to introduce to you. I'm going to start with Lieutenant Colonel Greg Schipper, who is our new professor of military science, and that's located in the School of Business. Amy Armstrong is a science education specialist working with the Sanford Lab, and cooperates with our School of Education. Ganga Basyal is our instructor of data analytics in the School of Business. Ashley Bigger, East Women's Business Center Director, that's in Sioux Falls, for South Dakota CEO, and that's School of Business. Andrew Bucks, instructor of management, School of Business, who you've seen before, he's been around for a while. Kate Caldwell will be our new Director of Grants and Sponsored Programs. She'll be starting in September. Justin Cameron is our new Senior Secretary in the College of Liberal Arts. Pam Caribou, which is a weird thing to have to introduce myself, but I am actually officially the assistant provost after a search last spring. This one's confusing too. Jessica Graham is assistant professor of biology in the School of Natural Sciences, and Jessica Graham is our student engagement coordinator. They don't work that closely together. I think it'll be perfectly fine. We'll work it out. Just watch how you email them, I guess. Kelly Hatch is our new senior secretary in the College of Business and Natural Sciences. Carissa Hawk, marketing specialist and senior secretary, South Dakota CEO, School of Business. Mike Hollingsworth is our new assistant professor of human services in the School of Behavioral Sciences. Dawn Hunter, senior secretary, College of Education and Behavioral Sciences. She started last spring, and now she's the most experienced secretary we have in the 3 colleges. Timothy Clavon, assistant professor of science education, School of Education. Alan Morris, assistant professor, mass communications. His specialization is photography, School of Arts and Humanities. Beth Riemann, instructor of chemistry, School of Natural Sciences. Chad Ronish, science education specialist, Sanford Lab, working with the School of Education. Courtney Schley, assistant professor, human resource management, School of Business. And Sky Van Duren, assistant professor, music. He specializes in brass instruments in the School of Arts and Humanities. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Now, will you help me in welcoming all of these new additions to our university? A trait of a healthy organization is that it celebrates its milestones and its employees' successes. So today I want to begin my remarks by celebrating several Black Hills State University employees who have achieved a significant accomplishment or perhaps received special recognition through a community or professional organization. And again, as I recognize each person, if you would stand for a moment while I say a few words about you and your accomplishments, and I would ask you hold your applause till the end of these as well. Dr. Justin Ramsey, Associate Professor of Biology, and Dr. Mark Gable, Professor Emeritus of Biology, worked with local agencies and Nyman Enterprises to develop a new program in biology. It's a specialization in forestry and grasslands ecology. Our newest program is being supported financially by a very generous donation from Nyman Enterprises. Chris Wardell, instructor in accounting, successfully combined career skill development and community engagement via the VITA program, which provides free tax return preparation. 6 Black Hills State University students in Accounting 431 Advanced Income Tax course assisted in the preparation of 180 tax returns. The estimated value of these free services to the community was more than $30,000. Dr. Craig Triplett, Associate Professor of Exercise Science, received over $92,000 in grant funding from the South Dakota Biomedical Research Infrastructure Network Faculty Fellowship Program to continue his research related to treatment of low back pain. Dr. Sidney Haugland, Assistant Professor of Education, demonstrated the excellence of educational flexibility and commitment to future generations as the co-director of Camp Invention. In 2020, she, along with her co-director, who was a local spearfish educator, delivered the camp entirely online during the COVID pandemic. This summer, however, the week-long camp was once again offered face-to-face to 65 K through 5th grade students. Dr. Thomas Wayant, Assistant Professor of History, authored a book, Peace in the Mountains, Northern Appalachian Students Protest the Vietnam War. It was published in 2020 by the University of Tennessee Press in Knoxville. The Appalachian region of the country is often left out of studies of national political and cultural movements, so this book adds a significant contribution to that work. Dr. Courtney Hughes Swyka, Associate Professor of English, authored a poem, Widows Weeds, which was selected for publication from the New Ohio Review Poetry Contest, and her poems Grasslands and Anatomy were published in the Halcyonis Summer Edition. Dr. Hughes Wyka also published Pine for Me in South Dakotan Poems from the South Dakota State Poetry Society. She was a 2021 James Hurst Poetry Prize finalist from North America Review and a notable mention in the 50th New Millennial Writing Awards. Congratulations. In athletics, we recognize head women's basketball coach Mark Norrie and the 2021 women's basketball team. Despite having so many challenges with COVID, they persevered. They won the RMAC Women's Basketball Tournament Championship, and they were an NCAA regional qualifier. Congratulations on that as well. Black Hills State University was honored this year for its efforts in environmental stewardship. The school offers an online master's degree in sustainability, is designated as bicycle-friendly and bee-friendly university campus through its commitment to the sustainable cultivating of native species of plants. It has developed a comprehensive sustainability master plan, which includes goals to become carbon neutral, uses 100% renewable energy, and be a zero-waste campus. This recognition exemplifies the entire campus's commitment to sustainability efforts, but we especially thank the leadership under this sustainability program, which includes Randy Culver, Associate Vice President for Facilities and Sustainability, Debbie Liddick, Assistant Director for Facilities and Sustainability, Sandra Marker, Professor of Sociology, and Dan Asenskis, Chair of the School of Natural Sciences, and also an Associate Professor. During the 2019-20 year, Kim Nida accepted the role of Interim Director of Student Financial Aid. She took on a significant number of additional responsibilities in the departure of the previous director. Kim worked with the business office and IT to develop an application method to disperse the first round of CARES stimulus dollars to our students, as well as manage the application, the evaluation of requests, and then track those disbursements so that we had no negative federal audit repercussions. It was major work. I know that because I worked with her. And Kim, we thank you very much for that effort. We also wish to recognize the admissions office, who has really made significant strides in reaching our incoming freshman enrollment goal. Joe Rainboth joined us as director a little over a year ago. He has reorganized the office. He's added several new staff, and many of its functions have been changed as well to establish ambitious but attainable enrollment goals. And I want to recognize that team. Joe Rainboth, as I mentioned, is director. Jace Winsell serves as assistant director. Elizabeth Kinsella, Taylor Phillips, Donnie Kiefert, Jordan Mendoza, and Aaron Oglesby. We thank that team very much, and I don't think they stood up. Would the admissions team stand up for a minute so we can recognize them? You're way too modest. Leah Shockey, who serves as an accountant at the University Advancement Office, has made many improvements with the accounts for our 2 university foundations and the Alumni Association. Recently, she led these organizations through the RFP selection process for an auditor and investment firms. Leah started her employment at Black Hills State in the business office, and she has worked at the University Advancement Office since 2019. And I don't believe she could be with us today, but Kristen Kilmer has worked in marketing and communications for 19 years. She's been instrumental in the BH brand and all operating aspects of this department. I want to say of special note, because again, I worked with her a lot on this, is Kristen's leadership in working with an outside vendor to develop a new logo for Black Hills State University. Most of you know it went live last March, and the feedback has been outstanding. So I thank her very much for that work. Let me just say congratulations to each one of you. And if you were one of the individuals acknowledged up here on the slide, would you stand up one more time together so we can congratulate you as a whole? So everybody who was acknowledged, stand up And let us just say congratulations to you. It is truly the people who make Black Hills State University such a very special place to work. And I just want to say that these recognitions exemplify the level of dedication, truthfully, that I see all around campus in all of you every day. But I do want to say a special congratulations to this group that we acknowledge today. Now I would like to turn my comments to just talk a little bit about the university as a whole. And I want to begin with this slide because truthfully, I was really hoping that I would not have to spend any time talking about COVID with you this year at all. But the reality is we have to continue to work towards managing the virus on campus this fall. As we all know, COVID has not gone away. So let me begin by giving you an update on what the COVID team has been working on this last month to month and a half, and we have been hard at work again. About 10 days ago, a message was sent to every enrolled student asking them to take a home COVID test before coming back to campus. We also have scheduled a mass testing event on Tuesday, August 24th in the Young Center from about 8 to noon. All faculty and staff and students are invited to come over for a free COVID test. We will be running a vaccination clinic in the Young Center as well. Monument Health will be partnering with us on that, and we will do that in early September, either the first or second week of September. We hope to vaccinate several hundred students in that vaccination clinic. We will do ongoing symptomatic testing in the Student Health Center as we did last year. So every day, students who have symptoms can come in and be tested for COVID. We will continue to manage isolation and quarantine for students as well as for our employees. And we will do daily monitoring of active COVID cases via our website, just as we did last year. Any day you can get on the site and see how many COVID cases we have on campus. Through all of this, we follow CDC guidelines to the very best of our ability for testing, for quarantine, and for isolation. And I do want to tell you that our guidelines have been updated and uploaded to the website. So they are different this year from last year simply because of the vaccination. Face masks, as you know, are optional. Many of you are wearing them today, which is great. But it is optional and it is a personal decision. However, I will tell you that as we watch COVID on our campus, if we see a spike or an increase in cases, we may need to go to a face mask requirement, and that will simply be driven by how much COVID we see on campus. Athletics will continue to test per the RMAC requirements, and they do have their own unique set of requirements that the league gives them for testing. And I finally just want to say thank you so much for your flexibility, for working with us on this. It is a very dynamic situation that requires constant monitoring, constant responses, and adaptation as we need to do so. And while many of them are not here today, because believe it or not, they're on a COVID webinar with the State Department of Health right now, I do want to thank our COVID team, Phil, our safety officer, Jane, Sarah, who works in student health, John Ginther in our residential life, Padrick in athletics. This is the team I meet with every week as we continue to talk about planning and then working through COVID. They were instrumental last year, and I haven't let them off the hook yet. So they're going to continue to work with me this year on it as well. Last year, much work was done to spruce up Black Hills State University's identity and image. The mission statement was revised, and as we worked on the strategic enrollment plan, while we were at it, we revised the vision statement as well. So here are the newer visions of both. And I just want to remind you, in any document you're doing, please update it with the newest mission and vision statements. Just minutes ago, I recognized Kristen Kilmer and really the entire marketing and communications unit for working diligently on a new logo, which was released and quite honestly has really gotten strong feedback. In addition, the beautiful sculpture by artist Dale Lampier, which is shown in this slide, will be installed in the new roundabout on the intersection of Jackson Boulevard and Ames Avenue around homecoming week. That's the intersection that has been in heavy construction all summer, but this sculpture will go in the middle of the roundabout. It is called the Hive. It is done by a local sculptor. It will be a beautiful gateway to our campus. And we will certainly share with you more information about both the installation of this sculpture as well as the ribbon cutting that we have planned for it, and it will be sometime during homecoming week. The library renovation continues on schedule and on budget. The contractors have had a really productive summer, and if you take a look at the library, you can really see that, especially on the east side of the building, where really all of the windows and part of the walls are now gone in that building. The $9.3 million project will complete June of next summer. We'll move into the facility July of next summer, and it will be open for business around August 1. For this year, the library staff and IT help desk will continue in or near the Yellow Jacket Legacy Room in the Student Union building. You know that we have spent all last year and much of the 2019-2020 academic year working on a strategic enrollment plan. In fact, that went on for 20 months, so it was a huge effort on the campus's part. The plan is complete, and really implementation has begun. Recall that there are 6 major initiatives in the strategic enrollment plan, and let me detail those for you just briefly. Enrollment analytics really beefs up our use of data, and it will use data to drive decision-making. It will use data for dashboards so people can easily find data, and it will also create a data team who will manage data and data definitions in particular. We look forward to really working, perhaps even on reorganizing people around the idea of data analytics, and data management. Admissions really is focusing on recruitment and funnel strategies. In fact, they have worked hard on their operations, which I mentioned just a minute ago when I recognized them. They have redone their communications to prospective students through a communications audit that took place, and they have redone their campus visitation program as well. Student success strategies is the third initiative, and it's really all about retention. We focus heavily on advising, and in fact, the Student Success Center comes into play here with professional advisors in place. But also, we focus on tutoring, opening a full-service career center, enhancing our work-study program, and developing a financial literacy educational program for students. We will do other things, such as analyze courses that have very high DFW rates so that we could do better intervention for students who tend to struggle in some of those courses. And there will be more behind this initiative. Creating a teaching and learning center for faculty development, and especially working on things like GS 100 and 200, will be another initiative that we hope to create. And then we will continue our work on our academic portfolio. I just mentioned a minute ago the creation of forestry. There will be more work here, and that is we will look at things like our majors, our minors, and probably much more focus on certificate programs moving forward. Our goal here is to really work on workforce alignment for the Black Hills region and Western South Dakota. And finally, the last initiative is leveraging scholarships and financial aid. This work will span several units: admissions, financial aid, foundations, scholarships, even units that have scholarships such as departments. And the goal is to make really wise use of limited dollars to attract and retain the most students we possibly can. So those are the 6 initiatives that we really will roll up our sleeves this fall and get after in a very, very ambitious way. The implementation of this plan will be led by Vice President John Allred and the Strategic Enrollment Oversight Committee, which is being created as we speak. They will begin meeting this fall, and really it will be their job to watch this, to implement it, and to make sure that we're seeing positive outcomes from the plan. In July, we submitted a Department of Education Title III Institutional Strengthening Grant. The grant is intended to help the university improve in outcomes, and we basically wrote the grant to fund the strategic enrollment plan. These two are really connected very, very closely. Student success and faculty excellence really drive this grant in a big way. We have requested $2.15 billion over 5 years through the grant. If funded, it will allow us to hire several things, such as a director of a faculty innovation center. That's the faculty teaching and learning center I mentioned. It will fund faculty development, especially around high-impact practices. It will allow us to hire 2 more professional advisors, especially to work on advising for upper-class students. It will allow us to hire a part-time internship specialist in the Career Center, and it will work on financial literacy educational modules. And that's not all of it. That's some of the highlights of what is included in that grant. We expect to hear back in September or October on whether or not we were successful in this endeavor. We will keep you posted. Certainly keep your fingers crossed. This would be a game changer, really, for our campus, and we're very hopeful that we can move forward through that grant. Work began in earnest last year to align our academic programs more fully to regional workforce needs. And let me just give you a few illustrations. Again, this isn't all-inclusive, but many of you know we created the Hospitality and Business Center at the Rapid City Center, focusing on working closely with the tourism and hospitality industry. There was initial exploration with SDSU to collaborate on an ag business program within the business major. I'm not sure the status of that, but I know some conversations had begun. We will begin work this year to add a specialization in healthcare administration, and again, that will be within the business program. We've already mentioned the forestry and grasslands ecology specialization that has been fully approved and goes live this fall, and we hope that we're recruiting students into that because we have a beautiful scholarship program aligned to that to really help students that come into that with a very generous scholarship program behind it. And I just want to pause for a minute and say I cannot thank Nyman Enterprises enough for the big financial contribution they made to establishing this program and those student scholarships I just spoke of. Programming in SURF continues to be a priority, and we hope to see even more collaboration in both science and in science teacher education as we move forward. Dean Silva and her faculty are working on a plan for enhanced early childhood education, including a laboratory preschool down the road in the next couple of years. And I think most of you also know that the West River Health Science Center was created, again, in Rapid City at the center, and it continues to make great progress. It's about a year old now, and it has gone through a lot of growing pains, but it's really starting to hit stride. It is really a 2+2 program, and it combines our associate degree in applied health science, which we offer here at BH, and also offers the pre-nursing curriculum, and then South Dakota State University's BSN program or nursing program. Last spring, our university worked with the Spearfish Economic Development Corporation to develop a Spearfish Workforce Development Internship Program. We hope to roll 5 to 10 paid internships this coming spring. The program is well thought through, and you can read some of the details here. And it will be a really, really nice collaboration between our Career Center here at BH and the Spearfish community. We really look forward to working on this to even solidify, I would say, a strong relationship with the Spearfish community. We had some very exciting news in July, and to be honest, we've been a little quiet about this, and I apologize to you for it, but part of the reason that we've been pretty quiet about it is that we've been trying to sign an MOU around this, and even to this date, the MOU is not fully signed, but I'm announcing it today, so we're moving forward. And that is that we were one of 2 universities selected by Ellsworth to have an on-base installation, or what I just call an on-base campus. That means that we're approved to offer programs on Ellsworth Air Force Base. Yesterday and today, we have a whole team at Ellsworth available to recruit and enroll servicemen and women. Many of us were down there yesterday, and today, several people continue to work down there. Upon receiving an RFP from Ellsworth back in April, we submitted a proposal that included 3 target audiences: active military, their spouses and children, and DoD employees who work on Ellsworth. We were able, through the Board of Regents, to get approval to offer a very competitive tuition rate of $250 per credit for undergraduate and $300 per credit for graduate coursework. We will offer courses both face-to-face on the base as well as online, and they did request that for our courses, we consider condensed 8-week courses, so half a semester rather than full semester, and that's simply to accommodate more of a military lifestyle and more of military work. So we will do that as we move forward. In addition, about a year ago, we were approved to be a GEM institution, which stands for General Education Mobility. It is part of the Airforce too, and this basically entails 19 of our general education courses. These are the programs on this slide that they requested in the RFP and that we will be delivering to the base. There are 6 undergraduate degree programs or specializations, and this does include a computer science degree, which we will be offering via the South Dakota School of Mines. So they are a partner with us in this endeavor. It includes 3 graduate programs. Also, you'll notice computer science on the list, also offered through the School of Mines as a collaboration. And then 1 certificate program in project management, which we currently offer in Rapid City. So it'll be easy to take that out to the base. Our staff at the base will include 3 individuals, Greg Krajewski as Director of Military Programs. Greg will be very instrumental at Ellsworth, but he also will continue to be our Veterans Coordinator here on campus in Rapid City as well. Mike Isaacson will actually be changing jobs as he will take on a job as enrollment specialist and cross-trained in admissions, advising, financial aid, registrar type things. So he will be kind of a one-stop center for students there. And then Jeff Waring will be our academic coordinator, who will be working very closely with our provost and academic affairs, as well as all of our academic units in coordinating the delivery of these programs and the delivery of courses on a semester-by-semester basis. Fall semester will be primarily getting set up and recruiting students, although we have planned to do 4 or 5 courses in that shortened 8-week period starting in October. So we'll catch the second half of the semester and try a few courses just to get things rolling and to get our presence established down there. The other college that will be there is Columbia College. It is out of Missouri, and we were actually able to meet 3 individuals from that institution yesterday when we were on Ellsworth, and we'll be working closely with them as well. We are very excited to be back on the base after a 15-year absence. Many of you may know this, that Black Hill State was on Ellsworth for nearly 40 years, from the mid-60s to 2006. But at 2006, we had to vacate the base, and we really have not been back on it ever since. Our contract with Ellsworth is for 5 years, and it really begins now. So we're very excited about this. We hope this has a lot of potential for kind of a new student recruitment base for Black Hill State University, and obviously a huge service to this region as well. Let me turn topics and just mention to you, I'm not going to go into detail because this would be another hour-and-a-half talk by itself, but Senate Bill 55 has concluded its work. This was a task force named by the legislature in 2020 to study public higher education in South Dakota and explore all opportunities for more efficiencies in the work that we do. Via 3 subcommittees on academics, administration, and infrastructure, 35 recommendations have emerged. The full report will be completed by October. It will be submitted to the governor's office and to the legislature by November 1. And there will be much more coming out of this. In fact, I expect this to be a major, major topic of discussion during the legislative session. Let me turn to funding requests since we're talking about the legislature. And I'd like to highlight both what was funded in 2021 as well as what we've requested for funding in 2022. So in 2021, 3 major items were funded. The needs-based scholarship was funded at $50 million from the legislature, and it was matched by another $150 million from private gifts. The endowed fund will be $200 million. It will be endowed at the South Dakota Community Foundation, and it will be awarded to South Dakota students with financial need who are attending one of the 6 Board of Regents schools, or Augustana College in Sioux Falls, or USF, University of Sioux Falls. The scholarship will begin next fall of 22. This will be make a huge impact on South Dakota students who in fact really do have financial need. The West River Health Science Center received $90,000 for one-time needs in recruitment and marketing. Again, we were standing up the program last year, and we asked for help in getting more students recruited to that 2+2 nursing program, as well as student support around that program, especially really beefing up tutoring to help students be successful, and then facility improvements at the Rapid City Center so we could accommodate more of the nursing faculty there. And then finally, a little bit of a surprise because it came very late in the legislative session, but Senator Ryan Maher asked if we had any request, and we gave him quickly a request for $105,000 to fund a Bloomberg-like, and I'm saying that because we're not actually getting Bloomberg, but we're getting one like it, a stock market terminals for our School of Business. This really will allow the finance program in particular to, I would say, enrich their curriculum through the use of this tool. Let me transition then to our budget request for FY23, or the upcoming legislative session. We made this request to the board at our June board meeting, and just 2 weeks ago, the board reported back to us what they were going to forward to the governor's office for the Board of Regents budget request. We have requested one-time funds to help us stand up the office, staffing, and delivery of courses and programs at Ellsworth. Our request is for 2.5 FTE and $204,000 for staffing, either for adjunct or for part-time or full-time faculty salaries. We also requested $5,000 for IT, Wi-Fi, and other technology needs there. This request was approved by the board and will be moving forward to the governor. We made a request for a new wellness center at Black Hills State. The current facility, which is located in the Young Center, is very limited in its ability to serve students. It's limited in equipment. It has really almost no services provided to our students. This is really problematic, as we know that students believe that a fitness or a wellness center is really important in their decision as far as where they go to school and then staying in school once they get there. Nationally, 75% of students reported using on-campus rec centers or wellness centers and their services. So we know it's important to students. About 3 years ago, an architect was retained to design a wellness center, which would be an addition to the Young Center. This is a visual of what that addition might look like, although it certainly is not finalized. This happens to be about 20,000 square feet. It's an estimated price of about $9.5 million. This new wellness center would have a climbing wall, cardio, cycling, free weights, strength training, flex studio, a studio for yoga or Pilates, and a second rec gym, which can also be used by athletics. It would also offer outdoor gear for students to check out. And here's what the layout of the facility could be. First floor, weights, strength, cycling, lockers, office, conference room, reception area. And then second floor, cardio machines, flex studio for classes, and all open to the second floor, so a beautiful view as well. I mentioned that the budget is $9.5 million. We made a request to the board for $6.7 million of that to be paid for by the state, and about $3 million privately raised. A committee has been reactivated and is working through this design plan and funding plans right now. I do have to say the Board of Regents did not approve this project for a legislative request, so this will not be going to the governor's office for request, but they did include it as a request to the governor for possible funding via federal COVID funding because of the wellness component that is tied to it. We have not heard back. We don't know the status of that, but if we were approved, it would be going through a different type of funding. With the federal COVID funds, we also requested about $500,000 in technology upgrades for our campus. I'm not going to go into detail on these, it gets a bit technical, but please know that this would greatly improve our ability to offer technology on our campus, including in the classrooms, as well as security around our technology. We have not heard back from this one either. It went to the same COVID funding request as the Wellness Center. And then the last budget request was to fully create the West River Health Sciences Center at Black Hills State University, Rapid City. This will involve moving the SDSU nursing program fully into this building. They currently are located at a different site in Rapid City, and then growing the number of nursing students we educate West River. And you can see it's a significant lift in the number of students that would be graduating out of this program. This will call for renovation of the Rapid City Center, as we will need to add many clinical and simulation labs in order for the nursing program to fully move over. Our budget request is for $8 million in state funds, the use of HEF dollars to the extent of about $5 million, and then $2 million privately raised again. The timeline would be completion of this project by about fall of 2025, so it's about a 4-year project, fairly long-term. This particular project was approved by the board and will move to the governor's office for requests through the legislative funding. Let me conclude by sharing our fall enrollment forecast, and here I am going to make a plea for help in the next several days. This is a point in time, 8 days prior to the start of the semester, so it's a little dated now, but it's some of the best data we have. For undergraduates, we're down 0.7% head count and 4.5% in credit hours. Graduates are down a bit more, about 4% in head count and 9% in credit hours. Keep in mind that this is 8 days out, so the numbers have probably already changed today. And we have this week, this weekend, and even early next week to continue to enroll students into classes. We really need an all-out effort to get about 1,000 more student credit hours and another 20 to 30 students head count so that we can be flat or perhaps even just up a little bit from last year, but certainly flat would be good news. So I just ask all of you to help. If you know of students who need another class, if you know of students who have not yet enrolled, please reach out to them, because now is a crucial time for us to grab those last students that we really need. I want to end by thanking you so much for attending today. There were so many more things I could have talked to you about, but I also knew our time needed to stay within this hour or hour and a half time frame. So I'm just going to say this, that a year ago, or 2 years ago, as I began, which would have been fall of 19, I made visits to each of the schools academically, to all of the departments, non-academically, just to spend an hour with you and to talk about what was happening in your unit, and also to talk about the university as a whole. I didn't do that last year because of COVID, and I would like to do that again this year. So I will reach out to each of your leaders, whether that's an academic unit or a non-academic unit, and I will get myself scheduled to come sometime during the months of most likely September and October to spend an hour with you where we can take on any of these topics and talk in more detail, or we can talk about completely different topics that you would like to visit about. I find those incredibly helpful for me, and I hope that you find them informative for yourself as well. Thank you for all you do for students and for Black Hills State every day. I really do hope you have a wonderful year. I hope we all have a better year this year than we did last year. I wish you the very best. I look forward to seeing you around. It's so wonderful to have people back on campus in a big way this week. It's energizing for me, and I hope it is for you as well. And just have a great year. Thank you so much for being here this morning.